By the end of this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know about scoring more touchdowns, regardless of your current skill level or what game mode you're playing. And guess what? Scoring more touchdowns means you're going to win more games. So if you like that, let's get into the video. So let's start out by talking about one of the biggest mistakes people make on offense in Madden 26. And it started already. It's in the play calling screen. So many people call their plays from coach suggestions, and I want to explain why I think this is wrong and how to get better at this and how to do it in a better way. So right here, I'm just going to call a play from coach suggestions. We get gun bunch Y flex, and it's going to be this play. All right, awesome. Now this could be a fine play. Like it actually is a pretty decent play. And when I call it, let's say we get that guy open, right, catch it, awesome. Now the issue that comes from this is that the next set of plays isn't going to be based off of that at all. And the reason that's important, at least for me, is because as an offensive coordinator, we want to scheme things together. So now we're in an entirely different formation, running an entirely different concept. And to the defense, it's almost like kind of random. And I don't love that. I don't think that's what you want to do. Right there, we thread that needle, first down. But look again, we're going to go to an entirely different set of plays. And in Madden, you want to scheme things together. So what I like to do is use the right bumper, go into the formation screen, and ideally, the way you run offense is that you have a few different formations in your playbook that you feel really comfortable out of that allow you to attack every style of defense in every different type of situation. Let me show you an example of that. Gun, trips, tight end, offset, weak. We're in the Giants playbook. And first and foremost, I'm just going to go to this play called RPO read bubble. RPOs are one of those big time plays that I look for in any formation I run. Ideally, it has it because this one right here, it's a read option, but it's also a bubble screen. That's a pretty good combination, right? So we go here. I'm going to actually pull the ball with Russ, and we're going to get out right there, okay? Now, if I wanted to, I could call that play again because I think it's going to work pretty well against this defense. But check this out. Now, from that same look, against that same look, we are now going to be able to call an entirely different play, and the defense will never know it's coming. This does two things. One, it keeps the defense off guard because I'm able to attack in different ways from this formation, right? We go here. Awesome. Now I'm going to go halfback underneath. They don't know if they need to defend, run, pass, whatever it might be. Also, though, it makes it easier on you as the quarterback because you get more familiar with your play calls and where your players are aligned. Everybody knows when it comes to passing the ball, especially, timing is everything, right? And learning where your routes are, learning when your routes develop, that is a huge, huge, huge deal. And so we want to do everything we can to make the timing as easy for us as possible. Now, with that being said, we can go from something like gun trips tight end is one of my base formations. Guess what? Y off trips nasty also could be too. So I'm not saying you have to stick in the same formation all game. Rather, you just want to have a collection of formations that you are familiar with and you're comfortable calling. Right here, I'm just going to check into inside zone. Right, second and 1 from the 3. Feel pretty good about this. And we get stuff. Awesome, 3rd inches. You can even have this idea from an under center formation where I'm in single back wing pair, and there might be just a few different plays I really like in this, and it might be my short yardage formation or one of my short yardage formation, right? We scheme things together to make it easier on us and harder on the defense. That's a really good combination. Now, if you think what we've talked about so far is cool and valuable to you, you should check out civil.gg because there we have full offensive and defensive schemes that'll actually teach you how to score more touchdowns, get more stops, and ultimately win more games. You'll be joining over 2,000 active members, and right now, you can get 30% off of everything we have on the site using code CIVIL30 linked in the top of the description. Again, just by signing up, you'll instantly unlock everything we have on the site and joining thousands of players just like yourself who are wanting to win more games. Now, let's get back to the video. We have a ton of videos on this channel going over this topic, but for the next 90 seconds, we're going to talk about passing 101 and everything you need to know. So let's start the timer right now. And the first thing we have to do is go into our options, settings, game options, and these are the best passing mechanics to use. Placement accuracy, pass lead increase to none, and reticle speed 7 out of 20. I don't care what skill level you are or what game mode you play. Copy these. They're the best. This is what you want to do. All right. Next thing. We have two different passing types we work between. Either it's going to be a bullet pass, which is holding the icon down of the receiver we're throwing to, or a lob pass, which is just simply tapping that receiver icon. I'll be honest with you, you should be doing more bullet passes. Lob passes, you don't need them a ton, all right? With that, though, one of the biggest things, and this is a massive skill gap, pass leading. Check this out. With the left stick, you can lead your receiver. Why is that important? Right here, I'm going to lead my receiver inside and up. Imagine there was a safety I'm sorry, I actually let him outside and up. Imagine there was a safety on the inside part of the field. You'd want to get that ball away from him. Now, this time I'll pass lead all the way in. Imagine we had a step to the inside of a defensive back. Pass leading is often the difference between interceptions and touchdowns. which is a pretty big deal, right? So it's all with the left stick, and the goal is to just pass lead it away from where the defender is, all right? Now, there's a couple different catch types we can choose between in this game. First of all, if you hold X or square on PlayStation, that's a rack, okay? That's going to give you a lot of yards after the catch, or the ability to. But it's less likely you catch it, so you could drop it. The next one is going to be holding A on Xbox or X on PlayStation. This is a possession catch. It's great for when you have to hold onto the ball, right? Whether it's traffic or on the sidelines. Timer's up. Final catch type is going to be wire triangle, which is going to be an aggressive catch. That's just your receiver's going to attack the ball a little bit more. And bonus tip right here, this is a big one. If there's ever a situation where there's a defender between you and the wide receiver, hold left bumper or L1, that's going to get you a high ball. All right, and highballing is a little secret that all the best players in the world do to make sure they get the ball over defenders, but into your receiver's hands. These are really, really good. If you're not running the ball well, you're probably not playing offense well. So we're going to do a quick 90-second overview of running the ball, rushing 101, and by the end of this, you're going to become a better runner. So let's start the timer. Bang! All right, first and foremost, you've probably heard this before, but we're going to talk about it. You cannot hold turbo until you decide on a lane that you're going to hit and you really get into the open field. So right here, I'm all left stick, all left stick, all left stick until I decide on that lane that I'm trying to hit open field. Right there, I actually didn't use the right trigger at all. All left stick, all left stick. Now, the big reason for this is because left stick allows you to cut a little bit better, okay? So check this out. We're in inside zone. I'm cutting this run back. Had I held right trigger, I would not have been able to cut back like that. So again, we're going to talk about it. Left stick, left stick, left stick, right trigger now. I'm trying to burst through that hole, okay? That's a big deal. Now, something else I want to mention is that not every run is created the same. I love inside zones. I love 0-1 traps. I love halfback stretches and dives. I don't love outside zones, though. I don't love things like they're like mid draws. I just don't like them. But an inside zone, I love. Another big thing to keep in mind is that we need to sometimes slow down. Right, so there's nothing wrong with just like hesitating like I did right there just by totally letting up the left stick, all right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? Hesitate, bang, boom. Now I'm holding right, I'm holding turbo kind of when I decide. And sometimes I'll go turbo, let off, and go again when I know I'm going to change direction. Next thing I want to mention really fast is one of the best moves to do in the open field is letting off turbo and just tapping for your circle. If you have an agile halfback like Jahmyr Gibbs, he's going to hit that spin move like you saw. Bang, you see that cutback? That's no turbo at all, and we're able to run the ball pretty well. Now, I just want to show you, timer's up, but I just want to show you something. We'll go into settings. We are on all Madden. So you can run the ball on all Madden. You just have to know a little bit of what you're doing. Let's talk about the idea of how to destroy zone coverage. This idea that a lot of people get wrong, and I want us to be on the same page here, okay? Beating zone is all about isolating a single defender on the field. What do I mean by that, all right? So let's pay attention on the left side. We have a comeback route right here. Everyone sees the comeback. And we have a zig, all right? Comeback, guess what comeback's going to do? He's going to go about 15 yards down the field on the sideline. Zig's going to go about 4 yards down the field on the sideline. Not even, actually. So what's going to happen here on defense? Well, on defense, we have a flat zone. Every zone defense has a flat. When we have two routes on the sidelines, if you look at the comeback and the zig, they're going different depths. Can this zone defend both of those depths at the same time? Can a human being defend 2 yards and also defend 15 yards? Unlikely. They could bait, right? They could bait between the two, but at the same time, they cannot defend both, right? So I think we can all agree on that. If that's the case, then when we isolate a defender, all we have to do is identify where he went, and we're going to throw opposite of that, okay? So we're not making a predetermined read. We're not going cover 3, I always hit the comeback. Cover 2, I always hit the zig. No. Because cover 2 could defend the comeback. Also, cover 2 could leave the comeback wide open, depending on what that flat defender does. Right here, let's call this play again. Oh, he's dropping back. Bang. We're hitting him instead. We're high-lowing this defender. There's 2 different ways that we can isolate a defender, either by high-lowing them or going side by side. Right now, we're focusing on the high-low version of this. And all it is, hey, what's happening here, right? Like, what is that flat zone doing? Right there. Oh, he's underneath. We're going to wait until we can go over top. Bang. Easy. Now, there's something to be said for deep zones here, because they play into the equation sometimes, where deep zones, technically, right, these inside quarters, outside quarters, whatever these deep blues are, they could technically sometimes play the over top route, depending on how deep that route is. So what you always want on the field, typically, as a rule of thumb, whenever you're trying to high-low somebody, is you also want something going deep, right? Because that's going to make that deep zone defender either defend deep Or if he tries to play underneath, then we just have a 1-point touchdown, right? So that's called a clear out route. So who's the clear out route here? It's triangle, or it's Y or triangle, okay? So we go here, deep zone's gotta play deep, or else I could just throw a 1-point touchdown, and then bang, we're good, okay? And a better example against cover 4 quarters would be if this guy was on a slot fade. And let me show you what would happen if they didn't do this, okay? So we're gonna go here. Awesome, let's go slot fade. Guess what? We have a 1-point touchdown, or almost, right? Because that deep zone played underneath, and so we're technically kind of isolating him as well, high-lowing, right? So we talk about that on the sideline, but also let's just showcase this idea right here. Isn't this also high-lowing? Yeah, it's just another way of attacking the sideline. Same exact idea. We're attacking the same part of the field, just now I'm doing it a little bit differently, right? And this is a great way where if you have a certain area of the field that you want to attack, you can attack it in different ways, okay? You could even do something, we even do something like this. The curl route is making up for the comeback. Bang, bang, awesome, right? Our underneath route could also come from across the field, so it could be something like this, where, oops, right? Same idea. And these little variations to route combos kind of just depend on situation, formation, what you want to do, and, different variables like that. But that's the idea right there. You can also high-low, though, in the middle of the field. Let me kind of show you what I mean. Let's go here. And, okay, so we're high-low in the middle of the field here, purely by having we'll go in route. We'll have in route and crosser. They go different depths. And now, who are we isolating in the middle of the field? The yellow zones. All right, so let's snap this ball. Oh, they play kind of underneath. Well, guess what? He played too far underneath. Now I'm able to attack over top, right? So we're identifying an area of the field that we're trying to isolate, and then we are isolating and then making the read. There are counters to this on defense. Also, the best offensive plays isolate numerous defenders at once, okay? An idea of this might be something like this right here, where let me put this route combo. There we go. We're isolating that left side, but now we're actually doing kind of the same idea on the right. See what I'm saying? Now we're high-low in the right side too, to where we have two different isolations happening, and now the defense either has to run a very specific defense to be able to stop us, or they have to really just kind of go crazy with their adjustments, all right? So that's one of high-lowing. The next one is going side to side. Now, I'll make this one a little bit faster, where let's just look at the flat zone on the right here. We have a hard flat. I'm going to push him to the sideline with this flat route, and then I'm going to throw this drag going inside of him. Okay, so we're here. Bang. Now, had 15 played inside, I would have had the flat, right? And had he played outside, I could throw the drag like I just did right there. Another example of this could even be something like, I'm trying to honestly make some up as I go. Let's do something like this, where I'm going to almost, we're going to isolate the hook curl. I actually don't love this route combo, but we can kind of do it on the right. Bang, hook curl. I actually probably had the halfback over top. That wasn't my favorite. But you can isolate, or you can attack side to side with defenders as well, which is just another way of doing it. Something like, something like this is a great way of doing it, honestly. So, like, now we have return route. We're high-lowing and going side to side here at the same time over the middle and the sideline. So here we're just going to make the read. We're going to go here, find that little crevice, right? We got underneath that hook, inside of that flat, etc., etc. That's what zone coverage is all about, is isolating a single defender. And notice, we're not making predetermined reads of who we're throwing it to. Rather, we're making a predetermined read on the area of the field that we're reading. All right, so now let's talk about the idea of beating man coverage and, like, what this really looks like and how you do this. You essentially, as a rule of thumb, there's kind of two. One, you need routes that move, that are actively cutting and moving across the field. Or at the very least, two, you need a route that cuts hard. Okay, I'll show you what I mean by that number two. So, a couple examples of routes that move are the stock S-post, is what this is called from X. Zig routes are great. Slants are awesome. What isn't great is this flat route. Why is this flat from Devontae not very good? Well, because there's no way he could beat man. And he does catch that ball, but it's not very good, right? So that's a good example. A route, though, that cuts, it might not need to move, but it cuts pretty well. It can also be useful. Let's look at a tight end curl. Boom, he cuts. We're able to throw him and get leverage. And that's the next thing I want to talk about. Leverage. It's huge, and honestly, it's probably everything when it comes to beating man coverage. Because we're going to focus on Nakua out here. He's on this S-post. I stemmed it down. He is covered, but but he's actually open with the appropriate leverage. Think about watching someone like Aaron Rodgers throw the ball and just zip it into a tight window. In man coverage, you are going to have to throw some balls that are a little bit tighter, right? But with the appropriate leverage, you are able to fit those balls, right? And the big thing with that is really just focusing on, do you see open grass for your receiver to get his hands on the ball where the DB can't? So we watch X right here. I know, I got sacked right there. I know though I'm underneath him, so I can throw that ball inside. Now, it might be a contact catch, I don't know, but you see the idea right there again. I'm underneath him, I'm able to throw the ball inside, just get a bad throw. And if I keep on doing this, you'll see me kind of consistently be able to hit X, and as long as we make the throw, right, we're good as long as he catches it, right? This is a contact catch. This is a more extreme example of it. That's where pass leading is such a big deal, like we talked about earlier, because if I pass lead this ball incorrectly, you see me catch it enough times, you know it's a ball, right? You have no choice but to accept that. If I pass lead this ball incorrectly, I run the risk of, well, that right there, much more of a contact catch. I run the risk of throwing the ball to the defense, though, right? Like, let's do it again. I'll pass lead this ball, what I would call incorrectly. It becomes hard to throw. Right there, it actually works. With that being said, we'll go to the curl route here and kind of use that maybe as a better example. If I pass lead this ball up, it's just scary. You want to pass lead it to where your receiver can attack the ball and not have to go through contact. I know right there, it looks like we're completing a lot of our passes. That's good, I guess. But at the same time, you just don't want to do that consistently. You want to pass lead it to where you are able to catch the ball in the best position possible, right? Another good example of this, as we get D-line pick, is we're going to start focusing on, let's go to this zig route to Higbee. We're able to throw that. It might be a contact catch. If I pass lead this wrong, it's going to be a tougher catch. Always want to throw it to where you have open grass. Right here, pass lead it up. Just a tougher catch right there. We throw it into traffic, whereas before we didn't, right? So it's just something to keep in mind, and that's a very, very big deal. Now, the next part of this is that you want route combos that complement each other. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, we don't want all of our man-beating routes all going to the same area of the field, right? Because, you know, I could have... These are all man-beating routes, but dude, everything's attacking kind of the same area of the field. We go to throw this, it's going to let a user defender get us really easily. It's going to let bumping happen where they can take advantage of that. We don't want that. Instead, we want routes that complement each other. So an example of that might be this S-post is good. We're going to attack this zig route to the sideline. We might go drag right here. Ooh, let's actually go a little out route maybe, or we could go curl right here too. That does a good job. The wheel can get open late, but it could be hit or miss, right? And now, or we could go corner route right here. Could go out route right here, right? Something like that. Now we have different options. And we're also keeping a fundamentally sound route combo in case they call zone. One of the worst things, one of the things I just don't like to do is to call an all-out man beater, because sometimes all-out man beaters are very bad zone beaters. And also sometimes pure zone beaters are very bad man beaters. The best of both worlds is what I call an everything beater, a play that's able to attack a lot of different coverages within the same play, so you're not stuck there always trying to guess man or zone. Instead, it's all about, hey, I'm going to call this play, and I'm going to make the right read. Right? I'm going to identify it during the play. I'm a huge believer in that, and that's a big reason why I've been able to win tens of thousands of dollars playing professional video games or professional football video games, is from that, right? Another example of a route I try to avoid against man is a streak. Now, there is some value here if they're running press man or something, or you think they're over-adjusting, but as a whole, the streak just doesn't beat man a ton, right? Like, unless it's, like, late and you're lobbing it. And against, like, cover 2 man, they have help over top anyways, right? Cover 2 man has safety help. So you don't really want to be throwing jump balls like this. So let's talk about the idea of making reads and kind of what this means and how to really go about making reads. So a lot of times you'll hear people make like pre-snap reads or like, oh, based on this coverage, I'm going to throw so-and-so. I hate that. I think it's super wrong. I very much disagree with that idea, right? Unless you're trying to like, call your shot. On a lot of plays, what you're going to have is kind of a read progression, okay? And the best way I think of this is like different areas of the field I'm going to check first based on the route combo. If you look at this play right here, where's the first area of the field that you're really going to be looking at? I'm curious what you think. Just looking at this play, we have a drag, in, corner, streak, and then a check and release. What would you do? For me, the first area of the field, there's kind of two options. You technically could check the streak immediately and just see, depending on the coverage. But really, you're probably going to be checking this drag. And a lot of times, you'll want to do this because of how quickly the route develops, right? And how quickly the route becomes throwable. For example, if we take a look at this in route and this drag, which one's going to be throwable quicker? Well, the drag is, you're almost able to throw him immediately. I threw him before the in route even cut. So let me ask you this. Let's actually make the in route our first read from the tight end. All right, we're here. Let's go drag. Shoot. The drag was open, wasn't it? All right, we're going to go in route again. I'm looking for him first. Okay, we'll go drag. He's already at the sideline, right? So route progression and development, and when they become throwable, that should be that should really go heavy in your equation of, okay, what route should I look at first? Same thing with this corner route. This corner route's great, but if I'm like, no, I don't like him. Let's go drag. Well, look how late I made that drag read, right? Like that's not sustainable, man. So we always want to look usually underneath, but also it could be something like this. This is a tight end seam streak. And the way he attacks, I can actually check him quick. No, okay, we're gonna go drag, right? And you can even check kind of things almost at once, right? Once you become a good passer, your eyes can move pretty fast where you can be like, check, nope, don't like it, drag. Okay. And then you're like, up, right? So the way I would go on this play, actually, is I'd go drag, corner, in. I'd be like, drag, got it, cool. Okay. And there's an argument sometimes that this method will result in you missing bigger plays. And yeah, to some extent, sure. I do think it builds a better habit. And also, if you're on 3rd and 30, right, use your head, right? You probably shouldn't have this. Well, the drag on 3rd and 30, maybe you cut it in half. But, like, you get the idea, right? Oh, don't like the drag? Boom. Now I'm working my eyes up, right? Now I worked up. Bang. I'm up, right? And so this can be found in a bunch of different examples of, like, you just have to have an idea of where your eyes want to go. And it's okay to be wrong sometimes. But you don't want to make it. You want to predetermine where your eyes are going. You don't want to predetermine where the ball's going, all right? So let's go to a play like shallow X dig. That will kind of show you what this looks like for me. Get to the other hash mark. Okay. And I'll go to this a little bit more of a bigger hitting route combo. It's definitely deeper downfield. First thing I'm checking, though, is this relationship right here on the right side. Quick tight end streak, maybe. Quick flat, also maybe. Reason for that is you can even make the argument on the left side as well. You should check that. It's just easier for me to keep my eyes on one half of the field at first and then work the other half. So we're here. Got it. Cool. And then you can make the argument, oh, okay, he's playing that pretty well. Okay, now you just know, right? You're like, oh, he's actually playing that well right there. Whoops. Actually, it's not the ball. You kind of get a little bit of the idea here. Because if I go and my first read is crosser, don't like it. Oh, shoot. Flat? Right? You waited too long. Your first read should be with that half second or so. Like, it should be fast. Right, we're here. Okay. Don't like it, don't like it. Okay, we're here. And right there, I work my eyes up to the next level after I don't like the streak and the flat. I'm reading between cross or in. See what I'm saying? And then, on a good play, you should be able to go against random defense. Oh, boom. Imagine if my first read was a crosser right there. Crosser wasn't really open, I don't think, and I would have probably been sacked, right? And on any good play, I don't like it, crosser. On any good play, you should be able to call it numerous times against random defenses and hit different routes. That's how you know a play is at least solid, right? So you see I've hit a few different routes here. Okay. Don't like it. Now, we actually had the in route. I kind of missed that. I had leverage on the in route, so I should have hit that. Here again. Don't like it. Boom. Okay. Yep, buy time. Right there, we drop back a little bit further to the pocket just to buy ourselves some time because there was a heavy send everybody blitz coming at me. And we hit the right read. Right, bang. This is also why it's important to call plays out of formations, in my opinion. Because when you call plays out of formations, you're going to call the same plays typically, right? Throughout the course of many games. And your reads will become better, faster, and you'll know where to read. Here, don't like it. Flat. Right? And sometimes you can even go for, like, immediately when I snapped that ball, I was like, I don't like flat. And I went off of it, but then out of my peripherals, I was like, wait, flat. And that's something you're able to do too, right? Yep, flat. Okay. Or if they start playing it in a way that you didn't think they would, it's like, okay, noted. The flat's not actually there. I think it is, but it's not. Right? And when you run plays a lot, you'll be able to see that better. Oh, streak. Right? Bang. That's how you make reads. So next, let's talk about the idea of power plays. This is something that I kind of mentioned earlier where it's a play that is good against pretty much every type of defensive coverage you're going to go against. And it's on you as the quarterback to make the correct read. So right now I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive playbook. And we're in the gun cluster halfback strong. We're going to go find the play called verticals. There it is. And we're going to make a couple of quick adjustments to it. Okay. Let's go random play on defense. What we're going to do here is drag the tight end. So here's the play stock. We're going to press wire triangle, drag that tight end. And then I'm going to streak the halfback. All right. Bang. This play is what I would call an everything beater. It's pretty good against the majority of things you see. Notice that I went against a random play on defense, and I'm gonna snap this ball a few times and just show you a few different ways, things that we can hit. Right there, my drag, my first read actually got bumped for a moment, so I was like, oh shoot. But not the end of the world. Right, we go here again. Oh, that time crosser. Right, my first read is that drag, but I'm high-lowing the middle of the field. And so my kind of second read that I make almost at the same time is this crosser going across, and then also this halfback attacking that right seam. So we go here again. My tight end keeps on getting bumped a little bit, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. So you see me here. So far, I've completed every pass. I've hit a few different routes. Let's go again. I mean, crosser's just killing the CPU right now. We might drop. Okay, good. Contact catch right there. Awesome. And so this is going to do a good job against pretty much anything. Right there, we go backside. Notice what I said, at least earlier I said, I don't think I said it this time. A good power play is a play that you're able to throw numerous different routes against. I actually missed my first read right there. I pay the price. First time, and that's on me. Not a bad play call. I messed up. A good power play, though, is going to get open against numerous coverages, and it's numerous receivers. If you find yourself spamming only one guy always, maybe an issue. At least if you play against good opponents online. You want to be able to hit numerous receivers. The two people I haven't hit yet is going to be this wheel route, and then also my fade on the left side. Those are tougher routes to hit. There is times where the wheel route could be thrown. Actually, right there might have been an example of it. I was kind of staring him down, so I missed every read. But sometimes those routes that just the CPU doesn't give up a ton, but users will based on what they call. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes users and the CPU just call different defenses. So like the crosser, for example, users don't give that up as much, but the CPU definitely does. And then the wheel route, something that you can hit early against a lot of users, you can't hear. The fade is good against like press man coverage, so that's the idea there. Oh, I just didn't make any adjustments on the play. I was so confused. I was like, what happened? So let's go here again. So like against some users, you could hit that wheel that fast, depending on what they call. Right there, that's just me forcing it, trying to show it, but you get the idea. Now again, though, you've seen every time I've pretty much called this play legit, like we've completed different balls, and that's the sign of a good play. And you also get better and better at completing these passes on good plays, knowing the pass leading, knowing the timing, knowing the reads, knowing what things look like by calling the same plays out of the same formation. You just get better with reps. That's tying everything we've talked about all back together, right? And the same thing would go with like run plays, right? You get better at running a run play if you were to call it a lot. You know what I mean? So, just food for thought. Hopefully that video was valuable to you. If you enjoyed it and you want more stuff like that, you should check out my website, simple.gg. We have over 2,000 active members right now using our full offensive and defensive guides. These are things that'll actually help you win more games. And just by using code CIVIL30, you can get 30% off a membership, which unlocks everything, which means you're really close right now to winning a lot more games. Just click the link in the top description. Use code CIVIL30, get that 30% off, and you're going to start winning a lot more games using our stuff.